Hello, my name is Kristen, and I am 12 years old. Behind me is my house. It was built in 1926, which makes it 86 years old. If my house was human, I'm thinking it would have gray hair, wrinkles, and maybe even Alzheimer's like my Nana. But since it isn't human, and since it can't talk, I'm going to tell its story. Welcome to the heritage of my home. The inspiration for my project came from some old items which were found in our house. These items made me curious about the people who lived in my house. The first step in my project was to visit the North Vancouver Museum and Archives, where I read every single city directory from 1912 to 1964. The directories gave me information about the men who owned my house, their jobs, and after 1934, the names of their wives. But I wanted to know more about their families, so I learned how to read a census document as well as birth, death, and marriage records. Almost every day I made a new discovery. I learned that John Bull, who built my house, was a mining broker in the Kootenay, and that he built my house when he was 76 years old. I learned that Sam Sowden was the manager of the Canadian Bank of Commerce for 17 years, and that this building is still standing today. When we visited the building, my brother and I were excited to find 8 safes and an old-fashioned elevator. I found out that Sam Sowden was also the mayor of the District of North Vancouver in the 1950s and has a street named after him in Norgate. When I was done with my research, I realized that although old homes are beautiful, it is the people who live there who really make the house come alive. Recently, I took a tour of North Vancouver to visit all the homes, businesses, and schools which are connected to the Bull, Sowden, and Shadell families. I was happy to see that many of them are still standing today. But I am worried about what might happen to the stories which are connected to these buildings if they get torn down. It seems to be happening a lot lately. But what will happen to the heritage of our city if this continues, and is there a way to protect heritage buildings? I spoke recently with Peter Miller, president of the North Shore Heritage Preservation Society. He told me that there are 3 ways to protect an old building. Peter took me to the Green Armitage House on 23rd and Chesterfield, which was built in 1909. He explained how it was possible to keep this building.
So this actual building that you see behind us was actually on the other corner of that lot. And the developer lifted the house, moved it across, and dropped it down on a new basement in this location. It's very important to preserve heritage buildings because they are our connection to the community's history. Without them, we lose that connection.
I then met with Sandra Grant, a former student of Ridgeway School, to learn more about her connection to this 100-year-old building. I asked her when she went to the school.
And I attended Ridgeway School from grade 1 to grade 7 inclusive before I went to Sutherland Junior High.
Sandra then shared some of her memories with me.
We just had lots and lots of fun in those days. We played marbles, and everybody carried their collection of marbles around in one of those purple Seagram's bags. I'm so happy that Ridgeway School was conserved. You know, I had such happy years at Ridgeway and remember my time here with great fondness, and many of my oldest, dearest friends and I attended Ridgeway School here at the same time. So there's a real link for me with my childhood.
So now I know that it is a lot of fun to research the heritage of an old building. But I also learned that it is important to preserve the building and its stories for future generations to enjoy.